Okay, everybody. This video is going to be reviewing the latest release from the DC animated movie line entitled Justice Society World War II. And guys, I I I do have to say this was kind of an okay movie. Like it still was pretty good. It wasn't nothing outstanding. I still did overall enjoy it, but like I've stated in previous videos, I'm looking more forward to part one and two of Batman: The Long Halloween. But just to go over this, so Justice Justice Society World War II, as the name suggests, um, d- d- does take place in the 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 legendary re- real life war that shares the movie's name, and President Roosevelt and the rest of America are basically just desperate to try and take out the terrible Adolf Hitler and the rest of the German and Nazi forces. So so in a last ditch effort to do this, President Roosevelt activates what's called the Justice League Society of America, which consists of um, Diana as Diana Wonder Woman as sort of the de facto leader, because during the war she Themyscira along with Apollo and the rest of Diana's brothers and sisters were presumably lost during the war. Um, uh, um, uh, a guy named Rex, which plays the part of Power Man, which basically means for an hour at a time he can drink like a magic super soldier serum, and it gives him incredible strength for that hour. Um, but Black Black Canary's also in this, and she still has her screaming ability, but her backstory is she's done time and isn't necessarily that good with keeping relationships, and and Hulkman in this version of himself believes himself to be the reincarnation of an of an of an of an of an Egypt person, um, and and then you have the First Flash Jay, who actually developed the Speed Force skills on his own and took up the ability to serve his country, and and then you have Steve Trevor, the only like real non superpowered person in this movie. That is kind of like sort of the guy that keeps in check with the Justice Society. Anyway, now that long and probably now and void introduction is out of the way, basically what happens in the movie is the the Justice Society is dispatched to to, to try and deal with Hitler's forces, and a- after seemingly two 2 years, they virtually have no success, but 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 while the scenes referencing Hitler and the actual events of World War II are gruesome, including the fact that that the Judges Society and Barry Allen as Flash, and I'll get to Barry's part in all this in a moment. All of them actually do end up visiting one of the prison camps, and actually do end up being able to free some prisoners. Um, but but present day Flash, um, but 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 Barry and Iris, his girlfriend in the movie, are visiting Metropolis for the first time, and Barry, as always, is trying to make everything perfect for Iris to make up for having to be 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 away as the Flash all the time, and basically being a terrible boyfriend. Um, but then but then he but then he sees that Superman, and and I'll get to his role in the movie here in a second as well. Needs some fighting Brainiac, which kind of gives this movie a tie into Superman, the Man of Tomorrow, although not really. Um, and Flash is like, hey, Superman, need a hand? And then Clark is like, yeah, can you just avoid the or help me deal with the tentacles on Brainiac's latest creation? And then and then Brainiac has to recalculate his success probability because of Flash being involved, and therefore uh, Brainiac pulls out Superman's one and only weakness, obviously being kryptonite, and and Flash sees it about to be hurled right at Superman, and as Barry runs to try and catch it, a distortion in the Speed Force create creates another uh, multiverse rift, um, se- sending Barry not back in time, um, like Flashpoint Paradox did, but but once again to another multiverse where the regular Justice League has not been formed yet. And again, it it's actually Doctor Fate that that opens up the portal and tells Flash, "Hey, look, you can go home eventually, but right now you need to help these guys out and ultimately learn a lesson for yourself." So so, so after Flash helps the J- JLA, the J the the Judges League of America, Judges Society. I mean, I'm sorry. Um, and and uh, and Wonder Woman, Trevor, Hawk, Hawkman, Black Canary, and their timeline Flash and Hourman basically figure out that Flash is all right. That's when they get to the prison camp, and and uh, and, and 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 that's when Diana reveals that it's been 2 years since they've been activated by President Roosevelt with no success, but it ends up being that hit that Hitler is not actually the main villain of this movie. The main villain and the main conflict of this movie is still yes Hitler, still still the effects that the Germans war on France, Poland, and all of Europe had, but 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 thanks to a will from a very di- um insane Dr. Fate, who absolutely re- re- refuses to to tell the team anything that 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 Naboo thinks that they're not ready to know, including telling Barry Allen about the eventual formation of the Justice League back in his own time. Um, he he basically gives them co- co- coordinates to Atlantis, and that's where we uncover that the real villain of this movie is a mind-controlled Aquaman and a former pirate thief that has somehow developed the ability to mind control Aquaman and all the rest of Atlantis into thinking once again that the surface dwellers and just the overall events of World War II are all meant to pollute Aquaman's vast and beautiful ocean. And but and before all this is going on, Barry and Jay, both as Flashes, are basically having a hard time basically using their version of the Speed Force because now that there's two, two, two of them, and obviously Barry shouldn't be there, but he is because of Dr. Fate. It's now much like with with a neck reverse flash, disrupting the Speed Force and making both of them tired out tired out whenever they try and use their speed ability. So so it's eventually with the help of Steve Trevor and the rest of the team and their their sort of war coordinator that has been with them ever since the team's been activated, Shakespeare, who actually ends up being Superman or Superman, aka Clark, and um, but in this version, all Sebastian or Clark, whatever you want to call him, knows is that is that he for whatever reason knows that he has a thicker skin than most other people, and 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 Shakespeare actually ends up uh, go, going away for a good portion of what's left of the movie until the big finale. But throughout the entirety of all this, um, Rags and Our Man, Rags, and by him I mean Our Man, is it basically um explain explaining to Barry that they can't distort too many things in in World War II's Earth, or Barry won't be able to go on back to his timeline again. So so after they get get the fake coordinates transmitted to them by Dr. Fate. That's where they end up captured by a mind controlled Arthur, and is and his mind controller, who I'm going to assume he never actually has a name, and I'm not going to call him Hitler because he's actually planning to let it let Hitler's and Aquaman's forces um t- take each other both out, I guess, so he can try and recreate the world in his own vision. Um, anyway, I, after a somewhat uh, fa- failed attempt to stop the war from breaking into the prison camp, and freeing Dr. Fate from a castle in Bulbovia. And if I'm saying that name wrong, I apologize. That's when they get captured by Arthur and this crony, and the crony basically uses Aquaman's um the Aquaman's trying to basically release all of Atlantis's most powerful and deadly sea creatures, and basically lands an attack on New York City, and it's through dealing with this that our man is wounded, because at this point in the movie, Rex's um, our man potion um, has long since worn off, and he's only supposed to take it once a day to have the effect for an hour, and it should probably be a 24-hour period before he takes the next dosage, and and uh, a- a- and it's through the re- releasing of Atlantic creatures that New York almost becomes a war zone in its own, just like France as due to Hitler and the Nazis control, but it's through this that sadly Hawkman dies, to 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 go with the Shayera, the reincarnated version uh, of I guess Hawk Girl from a past life, but 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 before Carter goes, he basically tells Black Canary to basically stop pushing people away, and to find and basically never to give up. Um, Rex, our man, rather, excuse me, um, get shot because because he basically been going without his our man potion, so thus therefore he's just your average guy, kind of like Steve is, um, but 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 our man makes it. Um, it, it also ends up that Aquaman ends up getting stabbed by his puppet master crony. Once once Diana decides um that it's time to put an end to this chaos by breaking Aquaman's trident. But in doing so, that obviously makes it so Arthur can no longer control the sea creatures that he's unknowingly released, and also before it's been revealed that 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 Aquaman is being mind controlled. He actually does offer to help the team, um, and so guys, thanks to that thanks to Diana finally saying enough's enough, and finally realizing that it's actually time to finally do our job and save as many people as the team can. Um, she she breaks the trident. Sadly, like I just said, Hawk Hawkman dies, and the ghost finds Shayera. Um, and and it's through one last valiant effort by Steve Trevor and with a little help from Superman that the creatures from Atlantis are finally set free. That they are finally stopped, and at least New York is safe from any other torture for now. Um, Now, as far as for Dr. Fate and who was controlling Aquaman, Dr. Fate kind of just goes away after refusing to tell Flash about the eventual formation of the Justice League, which I'll get to that last point here in a second. Um, but 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 Steve, after putting up a valiant effort throughout the entire movie, and finally, and after countlessly trying ever since he started helping the Justice Society of America out, in his dying breath this time, he tried one last time to finally um, get Wonder Woman to say yes to accepting his ring, and the running gag between Carter and Black Canary is um, Steve tries every single week with no success. However, um, that Diana did say that 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 once the war was over, um, that's when she would finally say yes. And and Steve says right before he passes out and dies, "Come on, princess. Uh, I, I'm not gonna have another tomorrow, and to be with you, I would gladly give up each and every tomorrow that I may have had if it weren't for this fatal wound, and any past tomorrows I've had, and if it meant you would finally say yes. So what do you say? Grant a dying man's wish." And then and then and then right before Jason's very own, um, she Diana gives Barry's Steve's ring to give to Iris, and Diana asks him um, not 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 to make the same mistake that she did with Trevor, and to get Iris to say yes, because not 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 no nobody is actually promised tomorrow, and you never know when your time is going to be up. So try and do everything you can to make a difference, and above all, be be with the people that you love, and make yourself happy with that time that you have. And then Jay sends Barry back because they now perfected how they use the Speed Force together, and and Barry is actually able to stop the kryptonite that Brainiac launched from hitting Superman, and it's actually Barry and Superman that come up with the idea of starting the Justice League this time around. So yeah, guys, that's the movie. I enjoyed it. Have a good one.